Hello, it's JT, and today I want to tell you about why I deleted TikTok. And I have my iPad here with some points. Some of you may be here from my TikTok. I'm going to try to funnel all of you in. Not that I think everyone should delete TikTok, we'll get to that, whatever. But I'm going to try to get you, come, because I'm leaving. Come with me. Anyways, we're already way off track. You'll have to get used to that. That's just how I am. But I want to talk about the reasons why I deleted TikTok. Now, I deleted TikTok probably about a week ago now. And I don't think I plan on going back. When I originally deleted it, I was thinking I was going to take a 2-week break, a little social media cleanse, and come back and reassess. I don't think I actually want to do that anymore. And I have the points. I have the iPad. So let's get into it. So the first reason is feeling FOMO while literally using an app that prevents me from living my life. TikTok does something funny, and that is it shows you things that give you a sense of FOMO, fear of missing out for the uninitiated. It gives you a sense of FOMO while also keeping you on your ass, on your couch, in your bed, not doing anything. Oh, we want to do all these things. We save all these TikToks. We have 1 million TikToks saved of 1 million places we want to go. But we still feel FOMO. I have a really cool job. If you came from my TikTok, you know what my job is. But I'm going to make a deal with myself. I'm not going to talk about my job ever again because some of y'all are malicious and I love my job and I don't want to lose it. And I want to be more than just the job that I do, which might already give it away. But I have a really amazing job that gives me the opportunity to experience a lot of things. I also live in Chicago, which is literally the 3rd biggest city in the US and a really cool city. But I still feel FOMO, and I've spent countless hours on my couch, literally just sitting on my ass, not doing anything. But then getting FOMO from what I see on there. How is that supposed to work? I'm not living my life. I'm using all my spare time. Not all of it, but I'm using a lot of my spare time just scrolling. But then I'm later when I go to bed at night, I'm like, oh, I wish I could have friends. I wish I could have experiences. And what are you doing to make that happen for yourself? Nothing. That's me talking to myself. And if I say you throughout this video, know that I may be talking about you, but I also may not be talking about you. I'm just speaking. This is like my journal. I'm just speaking. All right. And if the shoe fits if it doesn't fit, then it's probably not your shoe. The next thing is I destroyed my attention span. Destroyed it. And this is not the first time that I've deleted TikTok. It's not the first time, it's not the second time, not even the third. I have been a TikTok user for literally almost 8 years at this point because I got on in late 2018, back when you would still get bullied for having TikTok. We had to be on TikTok in secret, and I do have a little bit of a chip on my shoulder, even though it was literally so long ago and literally who cares. But also, I was an early adopter. And since then, probably every year, more than once a year in some cases, I delete it for an extended period and I always end up back. And that's another reason why I'm making this video, because I want to be accountable. But I also want to continue talking to people and being somewhat on social media because I do love, responding to people. And it's not that I have that many followers. I don't have that many followers, but even the ones that I do have, I love y'all. And I feel like it's almost like having more acquaintances or / online friends. It's a lot of fun and I enjoy it. And I did enjoy what I was posting about. But anyways, yeah, it destroyed my attention span. I cannot sit through a movie anymore. I'm working on it. I'm working towards it. I can't even sit through an episode of Love Island. And TikTok literally introduced me to that show. I can't sit through an episode. It's hard. I literally have to have Love Island on the iPad, and then I'm recording this on my phone, be on my phone playing the little, the game with the loops and the colors. What is it? Rotation color something. It's a game with 1 million ads. You can picture it. I cannot sit through anything anymore. And I can't even remember the last time. It has to have been at least 5 years since I finished a book. And when I finished that book, conveniently, I didn't have TikTok downloaded. And I'm gonna have to repeat this multiple times. I'm not saying this is everyone's relationship with that social media platform. That is just my relationship with the social media platform, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate. I think a lot of people are going through the same thing right now, and so that's why I want to talk about it. So, next. Some of my worst times mentally, sorry, I wrote down these notes literally like 3 days ago when I came up with this idea and was like, I want to do it. Some of my worst times mentally have been when I was using that app a lot. Conveniently, when my mental health is declining, my time on that app, my screen time is up, like dramatically. And I don't think that TikTok is causing that, but I also don't think it's necessarily a coincidence. I think it's a negative feedback loop. Because the TikTok algorithm is so good. The algorithm is so good that it figures out what you're going to want to see before you even see it. It figures out little tiny things going on in your in your mind, and then it grows that. So if normally it's already hard to steer the ship being your mind, to keep your thoughts positive, to keep your energy high, to stay happy, to stay motivated, if there's even a little something, a crumb of something going on up here, you're going to see something on TikTok that's going to make you steer down that direction. And that's not to say that you're watching stuff that's super depressing, but you're watching stuff that has to do with the direction, with that negativity. Like stuff that makes you feel nostalgic, the Frutiger Arrow bullshit. And by the way, not all of us grew up with so much of that, and it wasn't that aesthetically pleasing. Like, it was never well implemented. It never looked good in bathrooms. It wasn't all that. But you know the song I'm talking about, the Frutiger Arrow song, and like, oh, the good old days, the Yogos. It's not a mistake that you're getting that on your TikTok feed. And I'm not coming for you, because that's literally me. Like, that's me so often. And yeah, literally some of the worst times of my life have been when I was on TikTok way too much. And in addition to other things to correct course, I've always had to delete the app, and I think it's just time that we stop going through this vicious cycle. And next, this is about social media in general, but specifically, I think it got a lot worse with the TikTok era, and that is everything is fake and curated. Nothing on there is real. Like, I don't know exactly what the dead internet theory is. I know everyone's commenting it everywhere. At least they were, like 2 weeks ago. They've probably already moved on to something else. But what I do know, and how I take that, is that nothing is real. It's all a highlight reel. And if all you're seeing is a literal reel of everyone's highlight reels, your brain does not know what's real and fake automatically. It's just taking in information. And we weren't evolved to take in the amount of information that is spat at us. So you're getting taken and jerked in all these emotional directions and being fed all these ideas that don't ever fully complete themselves, that don't ever run full circle. And not only are you going to feel fatigue, but it's not real. People are not showing their real lives. People aren't being real. They want to be brand friendly. They want to be influencers. And I think we would all be lying if we said, if you're my age, maybe if you're older, this isn't the case, but if you're my age, which is like 20s, I think most of us would be lying if we said we haven't at least sat in front of the mirror and pretended to do an unboxing. I know I'm not insane for saying that. Multiple times. Most of us have pretended to have our success story podcasts and be like, oh, well, yes, I think actually, maybe I sound like a schizo right now, but I know that there are plenty of people who can relate to that. We did want to be influencers to some extent. Now, I've been posting since 2020. I've never posted in a way that was like me thinking I was an influencer. Some people do that too, and it's like 5 people are watching your unboxing, but go off, I guess. But there is always a part of us that wants that attention. We do. Just be honest. That became the new American dream. And I think it's finally starting to die down. I think people are finally getting tired of it. But in the 2010s, from like the early YouTube, the Vine YouTube era, all the way up into TikTok, all the way up until after the election and everything, it became the American dream a little bit. You know, maybe the straight guys, they want to be like crypto lord, whatever you call it. I don't understand enough about that to understand what they're talking about. But for most people, the girls and the gays especially, we wanted to be influencers. We were like, so this is my new remote. You see, I really like it because it has a red button on it. And I think it's actually really nice. We've all done it. We've all done it. No shame in it. I'm just going to be real, right? The next thing is that it makes me hate music. It makes me hate music. So many times I would have had a chance to like something, but TikTok just made me hate it before because either the song was used for a trend that I hated and found stupid, or I found cringe, or it was just used too much. And it makes me feel like I have to find more niche music. But then also, if you like niche music, you don't want to be one of those people that's like, oh yeah, like elitist about that, because some people have gone down that road too, with everything being so mainstream or like everyone knowing about everything. They want to find the most niche things so that they can be a pick me. But it just made me hate music, and that's been the case for a long time. And now I'm gonna sound like one of those pick me's, I was a Doja Cat fan since like 2018. And I don't think that's when she first like started making music, so I can't say, oh, I was a fan from the beginning. But I was a fan before she became extremely mainstream. I was a fan when she was kind of starting to get more of a following, I think, but it was definitely not mainstream. You couldn't put on Doja Cat and people would know what it was. Especially, I'm from Seminole, Texas. Nobody knew what Doja Cat was. If I would turn that on, they would clown me for it, just because that's how people are when they grow up in cults. They think everybody has to be the same. That's a topic for another day. But during 2020, the pandemic, can I even say that? Whatever. I'm never going to get monetized, and I probably will only have like 5 people view this video. But anyways, during the pandemic, when we were all scrolling, I know we all got sick and tired of Say So by Doja Cat. And, you know, now she's all weird and stuff, and I don't really fuck with her music like that anymore. It's all kind of like, she said, I'm going to make an album with real rap, and then proceeded to make an album that just seemed like the edgy version of her previous album, but it wasn't even properly edgy. It was like me when I thought I was emo for like 2 weeks in 2020 and went to Rue 21 and bought ripped jeans and started wearing black shirts, but couldn't even wear black pants or dress in all black because my parents were Mennonite and they wouldn't have that. And I was already getting away with a lot. That's the kind of edgy that it was giving. And we all started to hate it. And yeah, it's made me start to hate music. The next thing is, I have spent way too many layovers or trips just scrolling. Like, I'm in a brand new place or a place that I love, and here I am just scrolling, not going and doing anything. And I had this thought when I was at work the other day, and I was like, I have like no pictures from the past couple of months. And I've been working so much. I should have pictures of my trips, of my work trips, because I travel for work. And I have nothing. Not the food, nothing. Because I order Dunkin' Donuts and I lay my ass in bed like a loser. And that's loser behavior. A lot of us think we're losers because we don't have friends. There's this girl, Helena. She's big on TikTok, but she also has a YouTube where she talks kind of similar to this. And she made a whole video about why you're not a loser, and I think you should go watch that because it really resonated with me. But laying in my bed, ordering Dunkin', and not doing crap on a 19-hour layover in a city, that is loser behavior. And I'll admit that. And so I force myself now to take pictures when I'm at work of stuff that I can take pictures of, not stuff that I'm not supposed to take pictures of or whatever. If you know, you know. I force myself to take pictures because I want to romanticize my life. I want to feel good about my life. I want to feel proud of my life. And I want to be able to scroll through my camera roll and not just see a bunch of selfies because I'm a fucking narcissist. Hello? The next thing is, I am trying to dive deeper into my spiritual side. And TikTok can take you down some weird avenues with that. Let me tell you, for a good month, it was nothing but tarot readings and energy healing and zodiac stuff. And I found some of it fun, but I was like, okay, this is every single video is telling me I'm going to be successful and rich, and tomorrow something big is going to happen, and maybe I'm blind, stupid, or something, or deaf. I'm neither of them, I don't think, and I haven't seen anything, so maybe this is all just for views. And then there's all of us in the comments being like, I claim this, claiming this energy. But anyways, I want to get more back into my spiritual side. I grew up religious. I grew up Mennonite, so very, very religious. And because of leaving all that behind, which we can get into on another day, I actually did an interview on Cults to Consciousness about that. You can watch it if you want to. Just search Cults to Consciousness Mennonite, and you'll see my face probably just looking a little uglier because I didn't lose the weight yet. Hello. But where was I? What was I talking about? Oh yeah, my spiritual side. I want to get more spiritual again. I want to experience the universe. I want to experience everything that the universe has to offer. I don't know if there is a God. I don't know if there's an afterlife. And that's why I value this life so much more. And I want to experience it, and I want to get more in contact with my spirituality, because I feel like I have a blockage right now. And I know, this isn't even just I feel like, I know that when you spend all your time distracted, you don't have any quietness, you don't have any stillness in your life, you cannot have insights. You're blocking yourself from downloading the information. You literally are. That's not even a spiritual thing. That's just a fact. The constant body checking makes me feel like shit. And yeah, I was not in a good place over the winter. I drank a lot. I ate a lot of carbs. And I gained 18 pounds in like 3 months, fall to winter of last year. And I did end up getting on a GLP-1, which is my business. Y'all need to stop talking about whatever's trending and just let people live their lives, because it's my business. But being on TikTok, I've been in the gym for like 5 years on and off. I can't say consistently. It has not been consistent. But I have been in the gym more often than not, more consistently than not for the past 5 years. And my physique, in my mind, I think of it as average. Now that I've lost some weight, I do see myself looking good. And I'm seeing these guys, and maybe it's because I'm sexually attracted to them, but also I'm seeing these guys with just chiseled big ass arms and big tits, that's inappropriate, and chiseled abs and legs, what did it say in the Bible? Hot steel. Sorry if I'm being blasphemous. And I feel like shit, because I've been in the gym for 5 fucking years. At one point I bulked up all the way to almost 200 pounds. I'm 5'6", by the way, and I'm not ashamed of it. I bulked up to literally almost 200 pounds. I did lose the weight afterwards because of depression. I didn't do a proper cut and I stopped lifting, so I think I lost a lot of muscle because of that. But anyways, I still don't look insanely fit. I look fit enough. I look good. I look good enough to feel comfortable walking around and know that some people want me. And you can call me conceited or a narcissist for saying that. I know it's true. I know that it's true, because if I wanted a man, and I'm going to do a video about men. I actually just recorded it, but I want to post that after this because I don't want to lead with that. If I wanted a man, I could go get one. Holy shit. Yes, body image. That needed to happen. This is my journal, and that needed to happen. The next thing is, again, I was talking about this earlier, but I'm less in charge of where my headspace is at when I'm on social media too much. And see, you could argue that YouTube is similar. And it is. It definitely is. And Instagram is similar too, and Facebook. I don't know how to use Facebook. That's before my time. I'm not calling anyone old. I'm calling myself stupid. I didn't grow up with as much internet access. It was a lot more managed. So I was not on Facebook that much. And then when I got one, I couldn't figure it out because Instagram was so much simpler. And that was back when Instagram was so much simpler. And my first socials was Snapchat and Instagram when they were both exactly what they were. Instagram was photos. They didn't even have stories yet at that time. And Snapchat was stories and quick photos. But when you're on what is now Instagram or X or Twitter or TikTok, you can't really control as much what comes up on your feed. You can put not interested, but again, you're gonna kind of show interest in stuff that's gonna make your mental health worse, and then you're gonna keep going down that road and not even realize you're going down that road because it's not actually depressing stuff you're looking at. It's hot mustache men. And you're just less in control and you're less aware of what's going on mentally because you don't have that stillness, because you can't sit still because your brain is fucking fried. Our brains are fried. And I have a conspiracy, and I'm not a doctor, and I have a GED and some college credits, so I'm not very well educated. So this is not a fact. This is just me talking out of my butt, my ass. But I think some of us, we're on track for early dementia. Some days I feel like I already have dementia. I can't remember stuff. It got so bad at one point when I was also drinking. I haven't quit drinking, but I don't drink as much anymore. But when I was drinking heavily on TikTok for hours on end every day and eating like crap, there was a time at work when I was supposed to start doing something, I blacked out for like 20 minutes. And I looked at the clock 20 minutes later, I had not moved. But I also found out some other information that day and was dissociating, but I wouldn't dissociate so hard if my brain wasn't fried. Hello? How many times is he going to say hello? Who does he think he is? We're still here. Everyone is still here. And he sounds like a crackhead. Forced boredom drives creativity and productivity for me. I guess I was in an extra self-helpy mood when I wrote these bullets down. But yes, I'm a lazy person, and I think a lot of us are. I'm very lazy. I'm driven by boredom, not by discipline. And I have been in situations where I had to be disciplined. I'm at a job right now where I'm very self-managed. I travel for work, and I have to know where I'm going and be there at the right time, and I can do that. I was in the Air Force. I went through basic training. I did 4 years of that. I can be disciplined when I have to be, but when it comes to things that I'm choosing to and not to do, I'm lazy. And it works out just fine when I'm not constantly distracted, because I'm going to lay in bed or on my couch until I get bored, and then I'm going to be like, okay, let's go get a workout in. And it works fine for me. I work out plenty enough. I clean my house and whatnot. But I would be a lot more productive and a lot more creative if I just was not on TikTok. Even just the ideas that I have for videos, and they're not going to be high quality. It's going to be bedroom floor or on the living room couch. Sorry for you. Oh, excuse me. But you just can't be creative when you're constantly distracted, and you can't be productive when you're constantly distracted, because all of this free time is being taken up. It's all being taken up. And the next point is the constant comparisons, and I already kind of touched on this with the fake and curated point, but the constant comparisons, we judge ourselves off of a reflection of ourselves off of other people. Does that make sense? We judge ourselves based off of what we see of ourselves in other people, I guess. So we compare ourselves naturally to other people. Comparison is the thief of joy. I do believe that. And you have to consciously catch your little lizard brain or monkey brain or ape brain, whatever you want to call it, doing that. But it is something that we naturally tend to do. And so when you're constantly being fed information of people that aren't going through the same struggles as you, or don't show any of that, or seem to have all their shit together, or have everything you want, it's hard to feel good about yourself. You feel like you're behind. And how am I behind? How are you behind? How are we behind? We're not behind. We're behind what? Where are we going? No one knows that. And neither does the person who has a house and a car paid off and all this money in their savings account. And I guess that just shows where my insecurity is. But you're not behind because we're not going anywhere. Where we are going is to the grave. And until you're in the grave, you're not behind because you're not going anywhere. You're choosing to do whatever you want. But comparison does make us feel that way, because when you see 5 people who have something that you think you should have, maybe because of societal pressure or just personal goals that you had at one point, you're going to feel behind. And yes, comparison is the thief of joy. Never compare yourself to other people, but I know you're not, and I was not. We were not constantly saying these affirmations to ourselves when we were on TikTok. We're just not. You're sitting there and you're going, damn, I wish I had a man. Nice, like, short, stocky, with a mustache, dark hair, brown. Oh. Shut up. But I don't. And then I go to my bed alone. Because I don't want anyone in it. I'm a little bit crazy, as you can tell. I'm also on pills for it. And I was locked up at one point. But anyways, comparison is the thief of joy, and all of us do it. And it's harder to compare yourself to stuff when you don't see anything. And I touched on YouTube earlier. The reason why I think YouTube is fine-ish, still not the best, but better, is because you can see something, and if you already know you have a tendency to think certain ways, you can be like, okay, I'm not really in the space to watch this right now. It does take a level of self-awareness, and I, at one point, didn't have any social media or anything at all because I needed to build up that self-awareness. But you can have more control versus TikTok, where the video starts, and now, lizard brain activated, I'm going to watch the full thing because I'm curious. Pause. Find my point. People literally can't hold a conversation. And I feel like I'm having a conversation with you right now, but I'm just talking to myself. And if you brought somebody from, I don't know, 100 years ago, put them in my bedroom right now, had them looking at me, this building's probably just that old, so there may be spirits in here that are just that old. Now I'm sounding really crazy. It's late at night. Okay, where was I? People can't hold a conversation. And sometimes neither can I. But have you ever spoken to somebody lately, our age? Because I know most of the people watching this are probably Gen Z, maybe millennials, maybe Gen Alpha, I don't know. But we're the same person if you're watching this. And you'll talk to them. You'll tell them something about your life. And I feel like there's a conversational flow. No, I don't feel like. There is a conversational flow of feedback. I do this. You do that. Oh, that's very cool. I did this the other day. Oh, when I did that, I was here. That's how a conversation goes. If the conversation is a strand of spaghetti, people with brain rot, it's constantly chopped up. Because either what they're going to do is regurgitate some stupid ass stim, and yes, I have done that, or they're going to say it's giving, or they're going to regurgitate some bullshit, or they're literally going to zone out. You're going to see their eyes go blank, like someone just took the batteries out of their ass. And it happens to me so much. I'll be at work with somebody, and I meet new people for work every day. I work with different people almost every day. And I'm trying to conversate with them, get to know them, where you from, where you live, do you do, blah, 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 blah. And the conversation just, I'll say, oh yeah, my favorite color is blue. They're like, oh yeah, you said you like purple, so then, no, I never said that. Or they just take the smallest point of something, and maybe this is more of a communication issue, and this isn't specifically a TikTok thing, but they focus way too much on that, and they're like, oh, why'd you say the sky was blue when you were on the plane? And you said you were making coffee. What? The sky would always be blue. What are we talking about right now? What are we talking about right now? What am I talking about right now? I don't know. I want to go out more. And not just to the bars where I can sit in a tank top with my arms out and slightly flex my muscles and be like, okay, come over here, Chicago gays. Don't be cliquey today. Come talk to me. I said hello. No, I want to go out more and go to these little board game cafes, or go on an architecture tour, or go on an L crawl here in Chicago. I want to do shit like that. But when an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours of your day is taken up, or all the gaps in your day are taken up, or all the shit you need to do is not getting done because it's taken up by scrolling, you're not going to do that as much. No matter how many TikToks you see of what you want to do, you're not going to do it if you're just sitting in your house scrolling. I want to read books again. And I talked about this earlier. It's been years since I finished a book. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. Your brain is a muscle. And I don't know too much about neuroplasticity, but I know that muscles, if you don't use them, you lose them. And skills are like muscles. If you don't use them, you lose them. And at one point I taught myself how to speed read. And right now, I don't even know how long it would take me to read one page. Because I'm going to be honest, like I said, I haven't finished a book in years. I haven't even picked up the one book I do have in my house to read in months. And it's not even that it doesn't interest me. It's that my attention span is fucked. Completely. That's redundant. But again, the lack of regulation that you have on the content that you're seeing is not good. On YouTube, you do have a pause. That was a point that I made. You do have a pause. There is a pause between scrolling and immediate information. You do still see, whatever's on the clickbaity ass title, and half of them are AI now. Hence why I'm doing one take wonders. Girl, I'm not editing this. I don't want anything about this to feel artificial. You're getting a one take wonder from me because that's real. But there is that pause, and that pause is good. And the last thing I wanted to close with is the fact that it feels stale. Everything feels stale. Everything feels like it was done before. The niche that I was in TikTok, and for that niche I had, I guess, an okay amount of followers. I didn't have a lot of followers. Like I said, only 1,500. And not to say that that's not a lot of people, but in a world where people have 10, 30, 300,000 followers, again with the comparisons, but still you get my point. It just all feels stale. I would go to film a video or a vlog or something like that, and not that I was doing some insanely high quality content creation. I'm too lazy for that. But it just felt stale. And I didn't want to talk about my job anymore. That's what my TikTok was pretty much about. But even outside of my job, the lifestyle stuff feels stale. The hot take economy. Everyone has hot takes. And then all the bean soup theory bullshit. There goes another TikTok buzzword. In the comments, it all just felt stale and tired. The micro trend cycle itself felt stale because nothing felt new, because literally in 2 weeks we're going to have another trend. And you're going to be telling me to wear barrel fit tie-dye jeans because that's the new thing with the cowgirl boots. That's how I knew this was all becoming a crock of shit. Is when I saw someone clown the like capri length, is that the term? The ankle length, the calf length pants. They were like, oh, barrel shaped capris with cowgirl boots. And you know what was popular in Brooklyn, New York the following year that I literally had to clown on my friend for? Sorry. That exact thing. I was like, okay, so we're all stupid. We all have lizard brains. Our brains are all fried and rotten at the same time. We have no attention span. And we'll do whatever the fuck we're told. And we'll eat whatever shit we're told to eat. And we'll do whatever we're told to do. And follow whatever trend as a form of compliance because we don't want to have that FOMO. Where is the free will? Where is the free will? I feel like my free will is just not giving a fuck. If you're following all the trends, you're losing your free will. All right, I'm just going on all these tangents now, but I hit all of my main points. I want to know what y'all think of it as well. So literally, let me know what you think of it. Comment down below. But y'all have a good night.